everyone, and welcome to week 10, day 2. So we started off on day 1, easy day, and today is pretty easy also. So you've been doing a lot of hard work, so week 10 is going to be a piece of cake. For our reading and writing, these words say imagine, draw, and write. So we're going to imagine something. Here's the question we're going to answer with our picture and our sentence. What is in the treasure box? Ooh, the treasure box is all locked. We can't see inside, but we can imagine. Oh, wow. What could we imagine is in the treasure box? Well, you are going to draw a picture of what you imagine is in the treasure box, and then you're going to write a sentence about it. And you need to write a complete sentence. So let's say I am looking in the treasure box and I am so excited because what is in the treasure box? My very favorite, donuts. Now that might not seem like much of a treasure to you. Maybe you want something else in your treasure box. That's fine. Maybe you want superheroes, or maybe you want jewelry, or maybe you want something else, but I happen to love donuts. So in my treasure box, I'm going to have donuts. And this is just an example, so I don't want to see any papers that say have donuts. All right, this is Mrs. Rubel's favorite. Okay, and I like sprinkles, so I'm going to really decorate my donuts. I'm going to put some sprinkles on them, on that one. I'm going to make it look really yummy and fun. Okay, so I've got my donuts in the treasure box, and now I have to write a sentence about that. So I can't just write donuts. It says what is in the treasure box, but I just can't write donuts. I have to write a complete sentence. Okay, so I could write donuts are in the treasure box. That would be a good sentence. Or I could write in the treasure box are my favorite donuts. I am going to write sprinkled donuts are in the treasure box. Sprinkled donuts are in the treasure box. You remember we had a mystery science about donuts. That was funny how they got their name. Well, let's see. Sprinkles. That's going to be an S. I can hear that sound. And since sprinkle is my first word in my sentence, I do need to use an uppercase letter. So, I need a vowel. Sprinkle. Okay, sprinkled donuts. Do you remember how donuts was spelled? In the old days, it was spelled with the big, long word, donut, but now people usually spell it like this, so I'm going to do-nut. And now you know all about that. Sprinkled donuts. Oh, there's more than one. I need to put S because we put S for lots of donuts. Sprinkled donuts are, that's the snap sight word, are in, I'm using my spaces without my spacer stick. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Yes, but if you need to use your spacer stick, you have your supply boxes and you should have that in there. Now, in the treasure box is already written above. So I just could copy this. These words are box is easy, the is easy, but treasure, that's a very special word and it is a big word. So sprinkled donuts are in the. Now I am looking at the word treasure. That is a lot of letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. And so I am going to want, that's not going to fit here. I need to put that over here. So I'm going to do that. Treasure. Lots of letters in that word. Treasure. And then box. B-ox. I could spell that even without it being on the page. But thank you very much. I'll use my resources. Sprinkled donuts are in the treasure box. And there is my period. I remembered. Good for me. You're going to draw a picture and you'll write something else is in the treasure box or some things are in the treasure box. If you have a lot of things, you can write they are. Okay, I think that's going to be easy for you. I can't wait to see what was in your treasure box. So here's our math. We're still doing some subtraction. And I'm going to do this sample equation for you. And then I am going to just leave it to you to do the rest of the inside pages, and we'll do the back together. So here's the story. We want to write how many bales of hay are in this barn. That's how many we're starting with, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to write the number 8 because that is how many bales of hay we start with in the barn. A farmer takes away 4 bales of hay. So I need to put an X on 4 bales of hay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now these are left. And I need to count how many are left. But first I need to subtract those 4 in my equation. So 8 minus 4, you remember the minus sign, equals how many bales are left? 1, 2, 3, 4 are left. So 4 were taken away and 4 are left. And that's how you write an equation and show your work, by putting the X's on the things that are taken out. All right, on the inside it's all about farm animals. And you're going to see animals that are doing things, and some animals are leaving. But this is the most important thing. You have to remember to count all the animals for the first number in your equation. So you can see this cow is the one walking away, but we need to count it for our first number. It's part of the first group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cows are eating hay, minus 1 cow decides to leave. So that's our cow that's leaving. Equals, how many cows are still eating? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the most important thing to remember with your subtraction sentence is count all the animals for the first number, then minus just the animals that are going away from the activity, and then equals how many are left still doing it. Same for the pigs, same for the horses, the chicks, and also for these little goats. Okay? We're going to do the back together, and this is a place where you get to make up your own equation and your own subtraction story. So we're going to use counters, and we're going to create a subtraction story about this trampoline. So I think kids are just going to be having a really good time on this trampoline. And I am going to start the fun with 5 kids on the trampoline. All right, I showed them with their little hearts. So I have 5 kids. They're playing. They're having so much fun in the trampoline. But 2 of them have to go home. It's dinner time. They've got to go home. So minus 2. Now, how am I going to show my work? If I do not show how many kids were on the trampoline, I can't show how many had to go home. So I'm going to need to trace or draw how many kids are on the trampoline. And just like always, this is how we show our work. Super important in problem solving to show your work. It helps to show your teachers what you were thinking, how you came up with it. How did you come up with your problem, and how did you solve it? So this is how I came up with mine. You don't have to use hearts. You can just use circles or whatever you want to use. And your story can be anything about a trampoline, actually. So I have 5 kids on the trampoline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wrote that. Minus 2 kids. They have to get off. They have to go home. Dinner time. So minus 2. And that equals how many kids on the trampoline? 1, 2, 3. 3 kids are still having fun until their dinner's ready. And that's how I show my work, and you've done plenty of these, so I think you'll be able to do this one also. You can use any number you like up to number 10 if you want to, but just make up your own story, make sure you show your work, and write an equation for it. Okay, well that's all for day 2, and I'll see you next time.